this is really happening. I don't know if you saw what happened this morning, but Donald Trump, a 70-year-old man and father of 5, went apeshit on Twitter between 3:20 and 5:30 in the morning, slut-shaming Miss Universe 1996. That's the true part. Remember Hillary's ad from 2008? Who do you want answering the White House phone at 3 a.m.? How about someone who's not already enraged in a hissy fit? How about... I'm ahead of myself. Let me go back to the beginning. America used to be a country. No. Okay, not that far. Let's just go back to Monday night. Did you see the debate? Okay, the debate. Hillary made her case for being president, that she has the experience and the temperament to be the commander-in-chief. Donald Trump made his case. I hate Rosie O'Donnell, but she started it. Is this really happening? Trump interrupted her 51 times. At one point, she had to say, "Mommy's talking." Mommy. I mean, he actually had a meltdown. Donald Trump had a meltdown about what a great temperament he has. It was like watching someone carve "I'm not a psycho" into their arm. Can't process it anymore. And even though all the polls say that Hillary won the debate, no, he won. He won. And if he didn't win, totally not his fault. The moderator asked the wrong questions. He had a bad microphone. The whole system is rigged. She had the questions beforehand. The sun was in my eyes. The Coke wore off. I mean, even Ryan Lochte was like, "Stop with the bullshit about being robbed. You whiny little bitch." I mean, and Trump looked like he did a big bump before the debate. I mean, I'm hearing. I don't know it for a fact. Did you notice that? Ironically, the guy who wants to build the wall hit a wall. Which was actually the best part of the whole night, because he went after Hillary on stamina. Stamina? She was Bruce Springsteen, just getting warmed up after 90 minutes. And he was Fat Elvis, forgetting the lyrics to "Are You Lonesome Tonight?" Which brings me back to Miss Universe. She said, "You called Miss Universe 1996 Miss Piggy." Okay, that was Monday. Here it is Friday morning, and this nincompoop is still obsessed with it. He was tweeting all night about Miss 1996. She's disgusting, imploring people to check out her sex tape. Yes, Donald Trump, major party nominee who wants to be the president of the United States, is urging the American public to check out a sex tape that doesn't exist from a Venezuelan reality show. Republicans out there, thank you so much for telling me why America just made this guy so famous. This is Ken Bone, one of the undecided voters who asked a question at last Sunday's debate and since then has become a folk hero. Why? Why? Because after 15 months of this campaign, he's still too stupid to pick Hillary over President Pussy Grabber? For me, the great sadness of this election is knowing that even if Trump doesn't become president, we live in a country where half the people think he should be. I would really like to ask Mr. Ken Bone, or any undecided voter, as these last 15 months rolled along, there was no breaking point for you? Trump saying he would kill the children of terrorists with drone strikes, physically throwing out 12 million Mexicans, banning all Muslims, giving Saudi Arabian nukes, running a scam university, cheating veterans out of charity money, not paying taxes, picking Putin as his favorite leader, not being able to let go of a feud for a whole week with a beauty queen. Last November, when Trump was losing in Iowa, he said in Iowa to Iowans,
"How stupid are the people of Iowa?"
And now, he's leading in Iowa. So I guess he got his answer. That's how stupid. When asked, does the Earth go around the sun or the sun around the Earth, a full quarter of Americans said the sun revolves around the Earth. 80% think Ramadan is those noodles college kids eat. 7 years ago, I was on CNN and said I didn't think Sarah Palin would ever be president, but, quote, I wouldn't put anything past this stupid country. Then we went to a break, and when we came back, Wolf Blitzer said this.
So people are already complaining that you're calling the United States a stupid country and giving you a chance to clarify.
I don't need to clarify. It is. I hate to sound like Donald Trump, but I predicted it. I called it, and people are giving me a lot of credit. Folks, blowing up the world is something that could actually happen. If you don't think so, you haven't seen enough movies. Movies always foresee the future. Flip phones in Star Trek. Of course, Forrest Gump came out in 1994, years before we elected George W. Bush. A terrorist attack, that would be such a nightmare scenario, to watch terrorists ruin our election after all the work Russia has put into doing that. I mean, I know this is a comedy show, and I'm going to try to keep it on that level, but it's not fucking funny. There is a slow-moving right-wing coup going on. Media, do your fucking job. Report on it. The Russians are creating fake documents to discredit the Hillary campaign, and the Trump campaign tweets them out as if they are real. Republicans are trying to elect a sexually assaulting psychopath who is, if not a Russian agent, unwittingly working as one. And people in America are saying, well, it's better than Hillary. No, it's fucking not. We have to get a grip on reality. Please. Because, you know, like they say in the action movies, the shit just got real.
Yeah.
I know you're young and idealistic, so I've heard these young people on the news, and they say things like, well, Donald Trump, I don't like him, but Hillary, I can't vote for a liar. I mean, first of all, it's just apples and oranges, an orange. But kids, I've been doing this for 23 years on TV. I've seen a lot. I know politics. This is different. I promise you this will not make your life better. And also, once fascists get power, they don't give it up. You've got President Trump for life. I know liberals made a big mistake because we attacked your boy Bush like he was the end of the world, and he wasn't. And Mitt Romney, we attacked that way. I gave Obama $1 million because I'm so afraid of Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney wouldn't have changed my life that much, or yours.
No, absolutely correct.
Or John McCain. They were honorable men who we disagreed with, and we should have kept it that way. So we cried wolf, and that was wrong. But this is real.
Yeah.
It goes after your name if you're a Republican. Because if you have one of those, you can get away with pretty much anything when it comes to selling out, cursing out, or compromising your own country. Hillary Clinton with an unsecure email server, Republicans wanted to lock her up. But President Trump still uses the unsecure Android phone he had before he got elected. And he has been warned that with an old consumer-grade phone like that, someone could easily hack into his Twitter account and start posting crazy messages. And how would we be able to tell? President Obama once said, "We have not been perfect." And for 8 years, Republicans screamed that he was on a nonstop apology tour. They lost their shit whenever there was a picture of him committing high crimes like not having his hand over his heart during a song, saluting with coffee in his hand, even though this guy did it with a dog. Yeah, that guy, the one who sat frozen for 7 minutes after being told the words, "The country is under attack." And Republicans defended that. Climate change research. For years, they said, well, you know, climate change needs more. It's the greatest challenge of our time. And they're like, nothing. No, this is like if your car was breaking down and your solution was put black tape over the check engine light. And that's just the policy part of our national nightmare that we are living through every week. You know, there's two parts of this policy and then personality. personality, because hours after our last show, a couple of weeks ago, President Crazy Pants started tweeting about how Obama tapped his phone at Trump Tower based on nothing. That's the great thing about having tiny hands. It's easier to pull stuff right out of your ass, you know? And even though Obama himself has said this is bullshit, the wiretapping, and our former national intelligence director said that, the FBI director said that, Trump addressed all these doubters today. He said, well, I saw someone say it on Fox News. Really, that was it? I saw someone say it on Fox News? What has to happen before what has to happen, Republican patriots, before you act? Does the president have to get naked, roll around on the White House lawn, start eating the grass and going, vroom, vroom, I'm a lawnmower? I'm going to have a heart attack before this thing. And Trump said this today in front of Angela Merkel. Did you see that? She had a look on her face like how I long for the days when I got creepy shoulder rubs from George W. Bush. And then, oh, that was a great meeting with Angela Merkel. He obviously hates her. And of course, he's so good at hiding this stuff. They were sitting there, and the people are shouting, don't you want to shake hands like every president has ever done in every Photoshop? No. No, you didn't fuck her. No, I'm not going to shake your hand. And then after the meeting, you know, he tweeted, lousy meeting with German Chancellor Barney Rubble. Low energy, unattractive, didn't even want to make me pop a Tic Tac. Don't start groaning. I'll go fucking nuts on you today. You can see I am right on the edge here. Do not fucking push me. We're supposed to be on the same team. Don't be part of the problem. No, this is driving, it's not just me, it's driving us all crazy, right? Please tell me it's not just me. I mean, this is the craziest administration ever. They think the microwave oven is filming them. But during press conferences, they don't seem to realize they're being broadcast on TV. And I saw it on Fox News. By the president's own admission, all he does all day is watch cable news, which is nothing but commercials for Zoloft, Paxil, Celexa, Abilify. Don, pick one. But removing a president who's incapacitated keeps popping up in the news. Someone has to explain to me, if it was written specifically for this guy, then who is it for? According to Bob Woodward's book, Trump's lawyers told Robert Mueller that Trump could not testify because he was incapable of telling the truth. I now knows that Trump is a narcissist, but we have to stop treating that like it's an unfortunate personality tic and start treating it like what it is, a serious and dangerous mental illness. Trump likes to tag everything with "in history." He did it again this week.
We have the greatest economy ever in the history of our country.
It's always bullshit, but in this one area, he really might be the most extreme case of narcissistic personality disorder in history. Nixon was bad. At the end, he was talking to the White House paintings. But Trump thinks the paintings are talking to him. When Trump masturbates, he fantasizes about himself masturbating. It's in the big book of crazy. Trump sets off 100 bombs a week, and we chase all of them. But all his flaws are really outgrowths of one thing. If there was a nutrition label on his ass, it would say 35% fat, 65% narcissistic personality disorder. It all comes from that. Narcissism is why he has no empathy. His first thought after the planes hit the towers on 9/11 was, now my building is the tallest. His whole life is the old joke about the doctor who tells his patient, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news, you only got a week to live. The good news, you see my nurse, I'm banging her. It's an old joke, you'll get over it. Narcissism is why Trump can be a traitor and think he's a patriot. Because it's like what JFK said. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for me. Narcissism is why our government is now so corrupt, because the only quality that matters is being an unbearable suck-ass to Trump.
A Supreme Court nomination.
Oh. Please, you had him at presidents cannot be prosecuted. Narcissism is why we have a foreign policy based entirely on whether or not, when our leader meets your leader, he thinks they like him. He said about President Xi, I like him, and I believe he likes me a lot. Oh, I hope so. Maybe you guys can watch The Notebook together and braid each other's hair. Same thing with Putin. He said, I hope I like him, I hope he likes me. And then there's his buddy in North Korea.
I just came on stage and I was told that Kim Jong-un said some terrific things about me.
Great, maybe he'll sign your tits. All you gotta do is say something nice. Donald Trump is the world's cheapest date.
He likes me, I like him. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Like what, you're gonna fuck? Who cares whether other heads of state like ours? These other leaders are laughing at him, as if Putin is in the Kremlin going, oh, I hope he likes me. I would poison myself if I thought Donald Trump didn't like me. Take selfie of me, I send it to Trump. And, most chillingly, narcissism is why Trump is so stupid. The President of the United States, the planet's most powerful human in a data-driven world full of shifting information, can never learn anything. Narcissism makes you unteachable. Trump's brain is like a cell phone with a full mailbox. You can call, but you can't leave a message. This is something Republicans understand way better than Democrats, that real power isn't about making a scene or what makes you feel good. And power, it's a lot like owning rabbits. The more you have, the easier it is to get a lot more. Power begets power. Texas has very similar demographics to California, but one reason they're red and we're blue is we want every citizen to be able to vote, and they don't. Why Republicans so desperately want to get Schlitz-Kavanaugh confirmed, even though he doesn't have the temperament to be a judge on American Idol. Because, like the rabbits, the more justices Republicans get to pick, the more those justices protect unlimited campaign spending and voter suppression laws, which helps more Republicans get elected. Power begets power. Trump loves to say the system is rigged. Yeah, it's rigged. You're president. He leaves out the part that it's rigged for them. The Electoral College helps Republicans. The fact that every state gets 2 senators helps Republicans. Mike Enzi of Wyoming represents 287,000 people. Kamala Harris represents 20 million. Why is Wyoming even a state? There's not even a river or any other kind of natural border separating it from the other square states. It's just a square. It's like they copy-pasted Colorado and then forgot to put people in it. I have asked this before, but do we really need 2 Dakotas? It's like when there's a Starbucks right across the street from another Starbucks. It's greedy. You're greedy, Dakotas. 4 senators for you? It's like a little person going up to the buffet and taking half the food. The Constitution is not on our side. Bush II and Trump both lost the popular vote. They shouldn't be picking Supreme Court justices at all. Had the Democrats who actually won the popular vote been in the Oval Office, we'd now have a 7-2 liberal majority on the court. Instead, as usual, we all had to pin our hopes this week on Senator Susan Collins of Maine, population Stephen King, 2 lobsters, and a bear. It's going to be okay because we've been here before. With all due respect, we haven't. Can't watch a day of cable news anymore without seeing prominent historians telling us, calm down, America has survived bad times. And we have the Civil War, the Depression, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, disco. But trust me, my historian friends, I've read your books on American history, and this guy ain't in any of them. George W. Bush was a walking disaster area, but he believed in democracy, so much so he tried to export it to Iraq. Whereas Trump believes in oligarchy so much he's trying to import it from Russia. Yes, previous presidents declared war, but never on reality. You got to admit, that's kind of new. And look, I love historians. I watch the History Channel like most guys watch Pornhub. Stop trying to calm us down right now. You know when it's okay to yell fire in a theater? When it's on fire. Trump's son-in-law said of Trump, he's a black swan. A black swan is something we've never seen before, that defies all previous expectations. That's what we're dealing with, a black swan with a mushroom penis. And when I look at the Trump family, it feels a lot less in common with this family than with this family. This attitude that America's like a cat, it always lands on its feet, I don't buy it. I don't buy that just because something didn't happen before, it can't happen now. Rome didn't fall, and didn't fall, and didn't fall, and then it fell. This isn't 2 gentlemen slapping each other in the face with gloves. This is a slow-moving coup. This is the head of the federal government calling the American citizens that make up the free press the enemy of the people. And that's why, here on our final show before the election, I want to talk directly to the millennials and to Generation Instagram, or whatever they're calling you. We need you. We need you like you need your anti-anxiety meds. Not to protest or to post something. We need you to actually vote. Because historically, you are the least likely to. I get it. You're young, and young people aren't big on planning for the future. That's why we have laser tattoo removal. But we need you to turn out in unprecedented numbers, and we know you can. Look at the March for Our Lives. That's how you should approach voting this year, as a march for your life. It's your future, not mine. Participating will be just like your student loan debt. It will haunt you for the rest of your life. Getting this moment wrong, you can say goodbye to reproductive rights, to legalize pot, possibly to gay marriage, and definitely to what's left of the environment. If Trump wins, he will cast it as a complete endorsement of his most undemocratic behavior. If you're 18 and that happens, you stand a very real chance of not living in a Western-style democracy for part or all of your life. Yes, it can happen here. If historians want to look at an example of we've been here before, look at this picture. This isn't Nuremberg in 1934. It's Madison Square Garden in liberal New York City in 1934. And here's the garden in 1939, after Hitler had already done some pretty awful things. And yet 22,000 Americans were cheering him on. I'm not saying Trump is Hitler. Hitler volunteered for the army. But Trump is a wannabe dictator, and he does have a knack of getting what he wants to be. So mark Tuesday, November 6th down. Mark it on your calendar like you're Brett Kavanaugh planning to get shit-faced. Because Tuesday is win or go home for democracy. He's somehow everywhere in the world, only he's not bringing you anything, he's breaking the shit you already have. Oh, that's him on the roof. Now he's coming down the chimney and eating your cookies. Now he's kissing mommy and grabbing her pussy. He's the gift that never stops taking. Each morning you confront the news with the same thought Stormy Daniels said she had when Trump sat down next to her on the bed. Ugh. Here we go. Every day, it seems like it's the same thing. You open your news feed, facepalm. Now, all year long, and going back to before the election, I have been calling the Trump phenomenon a slow-moving coup. Well, this week, it started moving a little faster. In mid-2017, I first read you my dictator checklist. But since this week is the week we now have added install your personal protector as head of the Justice Department, after adding in September install your personal protector on the highest court, let's review the dictator list one more time. You're a narcissist who likes to see his name and face on buildings. You appoint family members to positions of power. You hold rallies even when you're not running and they are scary. You talk about jailing the press and political opponents. You want to hold military parades and muse openly about being president for life. You use your office for personal financial gain. You love other dictators. You lie so freely your supporters don't know what the truth is anymore and don't care. For a coup to work, it is first necessary for truth itself to be destroyed, as well as the people who try to report it. So the dictator is free to say anything, and his followers believe it. Last weekend, conservatives had their big annual convention, which featured such speakers as Glenn Beck, Devin Nunes, Judge Jeanine Pirro, and of course Trump himself. It was a virtual Woodstock of the mentally impaired. And one speaker, Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, said this.
I see the greatest president in history. Of course he is. He was chosen by God.
Yeah, Mike's pillows are made from foam, but his head is stuffed with feathers. But Mike's belief there is not unique. A significant portion of our population believes that in 2016, God put Donald Trump in office. And I was giving all the credit to Putin. And if you watch the 700 Club regularly, like I do, you know that evangelicals are now making the claim that Trump is a modern-day version of King Cyrus. King Cyrus. In the Bible, okay, why Cyrus? Well, because evangelicals needed to solve this little problem they have, which is that they want to support a Republican president, but this particular one happens to be the least Christian person ever. A man who loves flesh peddling, coveting, cursing, cheating, bullying, bragging, sloth, adultery, and ripping off charities. And who lies more frequently than the rest of us pee. A man who would go into a confessional booth and never come out. How to square that circle? Just say Trump is like King Cyrus.
Trump has the Cyrus anointing.
God was raising him up like Cyrus.
I know what you're saying to yourselves. Bill, who the fuck is Cyrus? Cyrus is the ancient king of Persia who conquered Babylon, where the Jews were living in captivity. Cyrus didn't do it for the Jews, he did it for Persia, his country. But it had the happy side effect of allowing the Jews to return home to Israel. So Cyrus, you see, is an unwitting conduit, a vessel for God's will. Except Trump isn't a vessel for God's will. He's a vessel for fried chicken. And the analogy on which the whole thing rests is shit. For one thing, Cyrus wasn't a fat, orange, conscienceless scumbag. I also, get this, believe it's significant that the chapter in the Bible that mentions Cyrus is Isaiah 45, and Trump is the 45th president. You can't argue with science, people. You almost have to respect their focus. They decide what they want, and they work backwards to find a few phrases in the Bible to justify it. Us secular types, we don't have that luxury. We see Trump colluding. We can't point to Isaiah 45. All we have is U.S. Code 2381, the part that says whoever gives aid and comfort to the enemy is guilty of treason. Stone face doesn't mean you belong on Mount Rushmore. 2 years, America has had a crazy person in the White House, and for over 2 years, the Democrats have done fuck all about it because they were waiting for Mueller. We all sat around waiting for prosecutor Jesus to turn in his big report. And he came back with, ask someone else. We needed Superman, and we got Clark Kent. Trump calls the Mueller report the crazy Mueller report, and in a way he's right, because it's over 400 pages detailing terrible crimes by a corrupt president, yet Mueller does not prosecute. If Dostoevsky had written the report, it would be called Crime and No Punishment. Mueller's report is full of buts. Don Jr. met with the Russians, but Manafort gave internal polling data to a Russian, but Trump obstructed justice every day, but Robert Mueller, he loves big butts and he cannot lie. Preet Bharara was on Real Time the week the Barr summary came out, and I had one burning question. Could a different prosecutor have reached a completely different conclusion? And he said, yeah. That's all I need to know. I get it. Mueller's a Boy Scout, a straight arrow. He played it by the book. But you may have noticed for the past 3 years, we're kind of been off book. And greatness sometimes means not doing everything by the book. Thomas Jefferson made the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, doubling the size of the United States, without any authority to do so. But history called his name, and it said, take the shot, Mav. That's what Spielberg's movie Lincoln is about. Even after the Emancipation Proclamation, black people were not free. That required a constitutional amendment initiated in Congress. And to make that happen, while he had a window to make it happen, Lincoln lied, bribed, freed prisoners, even fast-tracked an entire new state into the Union. None of which Mueller would have had to do. All he had to do is what people in the justice system do every day: use the law to come to justice, not be so restricted by technicalities that the bad guys win. That's why Clint Eastwood never made a movie called Clean Harry. Sometimes it comes down to you. The Attorney General is corrupt. The Congress is dysfunctional. What good is leaving a roadmap for impeachment if you know a tribal, party before country Republican Senate will never remove the president? Bob, your trail of breadcrumbs isn't good enough. We're not that smart anymore. America is an aging shortstop. You have to hit it right at us. To me, this report is summed up in the words, Donald Trump Jr. declined to be voluntarily interviewed. So make him. Was he too busy? You couldn't work around his tweeting schedule? And you, tough guy, couldn't get the president's taxes? You didn't follow the money? You didn't interview Trump, we're told, because he couldn't possibly testify under oath without perjuring himself? And that's our problem? It's one feckless punt after another. Thank you. Rudy Giuliani said this week, there's nothing wrong with taking information from Russians. That's where we are now. I lay that on Mueller. From now on, you can meet with foreign governments, invite them to hack your opponents, break campaign finance laws, as long as it's by reason of duh. I'm plausibly too dumb to know what I was doing. For a guy who didn't want to break precedent by indicting a president, Mueller sure created a lot of new precedents. Because that's what law is, new precedents. It's always evolving. You can't indict a sitting president. It's not in the Constitution. It's not even a law. It's a guideline, like drinking white wine with fish or not fucking your cousin. It's a fucking memo. In Watergate, the special prosecutor, Jaworski, faced a very similar guideline, but he understood the big picture and his role in history, and he sued a sitting president anyway. Mueller could have done that, and the headline the next day would have been, Mueller breaks with precedent, indicts Trump, and then that would be our new reality. Would have been a better reality, because now Trump goes into the election as a vindicated martyr, and hell hath no fury like a whiny little bitch scorned. Maybe we should have brought back Ken Starr as prosecutor. At least he knew how to go after a dick in the Oval Office. Summer is over. Donald Trump must give everyone a vacation from himself. July used to be a happy month for me. It was my downtime, a chance to tend my garden and then smoke it. This July started with tanks in the streets of America, another notch in my dictator checklist. Then came Trump telling 4 congresswomen to go back where they came from, Chicksylvania. By the time he got to no human would want to live in Baltimore, I got so high the fire department had to come get me down. When your vacation leaves you more exhausted than when it started, that's called Trump fatigue. And I'm not the only one who suffers from it. 70% of Americans say Trump tweets too much, and 70% find him unpresidential. That's the fatigue talking. Even his TV ratings are failing. In June, he did a primetime interview on ABC and got only 3.9 million viewers, a sharp drop from Celebrity Family Feud, which got 6.1 million in the same time slot the week before. Sad. But not sad for Democrats. Fatigue is the best thing we've got going for us. The majority of Americans aren't tired of winning. They're tired of looking at his fat fucking face. Do you have any idea how obnoxious you have to come across to have only a 43% approval rating when the unemployment rate is under 4? Voters that Democrats need to win, moderates who have Trump fatigue, will vote against the good economy, I think, just to get back to normalcy. But they won't trade it away for left-wing extremism. You say you want a revolution? Well, get elected first. And this election is about 2 things, fatigue and fear. We have fatigue, he has fear. Fear of socialism, fear of open borders, fear of getting rid of private health insurance, fear of higher taxes. He's running on, the communists are coming, shit yourself. We should run on, elect me, and we can stop talking about him. All the Democrats have to do to win is to come off less crazy than Trump, and of course, they're blowing it. Coming across as unserious people who are going to take away all your money so migrants from Honduras can go to college for free and get a major in America sucks. Now, do I want Biden to be president? Not really. But Biden's the only Democrat who beats Trump in Ohio. He's like non-dairy creamer. Nobody loves it, but in a jam, it gets the job done. I can't figure people out, but they just like Joe. Maybe it's the familiarity. He's like a McDonald's when you're in Europe. Democrats need to excite the base. Trump excites the base. With Obama, the battle cry was, yes, we can. With Trump, it's, what the fuck? He generates the kind of excitement that put the Dalai Lama on Klonopin. It's the fatigue, stupid. Let's make it hard for Trump to play on voters' fears and let the fatigue win the election for us. We'll get to the revolution, but remember, put on your oxygen mask before assisting your child. The Democrats can do that and win. This country might stop being as divided as it is, because underneath, maybe we're not so divided.